You think about Bill Clinton's aversion to the truth, you wonder if this is because of the lackadaisical moral background. He lied about Rhodes, being a Rhodes Scout. He never completed that. In Arkansas, while he was governor, he said he passed the budget 11 times. He never did it once. Also, he said he didn't raise taxes, and he raised taxes 126 times.
As a shareholder and director of our company,
Clinton also took a role in supporting a Buy America program. Walmart continued to get most of its products from overseas during its Buy America program. Clinton now says she did not know about the foreign sweatshops of children or how the Made in the USA campaign was being run.
Yeah, Bobby Stevens and said, did you get the $50,000 campaign contribution from the client that you're introducing the loan for?
It's the longest period of time in her professional career, and she doesn't even mention the name, the Rhodes Law Firm.
Former bodyguards of Bill Clinton came forward with detailed information regarding the governor's sexual encounters with a number of women. Larry Patterson and Roger Perry boldly spoke on the record. Two other troopers who initially spoke off the record were later identified as Danny Ferguson and Ronnie Anderson. A fifth trooper, L.D. Brown, came forward, adding that Clinton's sexual partners numbered over 100.
Got two and offered her a federal job or break your leg, whichever one was the best. I was literally working, sitting in the middle of Bill Clinton's political machine. It was where he made payoffs, where he repaid favors to people for campaign support.
Millions of taxpayer-guaranteed dollars were being channeled to Clinton's election campaigns, to his inner circle of friends, and to his wife Hillary's law firm.
If you needed $1 million, you had to get your application handled by the Rhodes Law Firm. For $100 a month in cocaine coming in and out of Mean, Arkansas, how do you clean $100 million a month? Now, what is the criteria for loans? He said, Bill wants to get a loan. You're president of the United States. Not only was a part of the system that was laundering millions of cocaine dollars, your president signed off on it. Every loan that Adler made, Bill Clinton himself had to sign off on it. He goes over, investigates what I told him. And you know what? The very week he investigated, guess what they were doing? Shredding documents right there at the Rhodes Law Firm. All of the Whitewater documents, getting rid of them as fast as they humanly can.
Dr. Suen, S-U-E-N, doctor at the medical center here in Little Rock, is taking care of Bill Clinton for his sinus problems, which may indeed be drug-related to cocaine use, as they destroyed the sinus passages. Governor Bill Clinton was taken into the hospital, I believe it was the medical center, on at least one or two occasions for cocaine abuse and overdosing.
Secretary of Treasurer was Webb Hubbell. Then I found out Webb Hubbell was Seth Ward's son-in-law. Guess who drafted legislation creating Act 1062, which created the Arkansas Development Finance Authority? Webb Hubbell. Guess who introduced the legislation to our legislators and got it passed through our House? Webb Hubbell. Guess who got the first loan? Webb Hubbell. Imagine this. Guess who did the audit and the evaluation of the application? Rhodes Law Firm. You guessed it. Who signed it? Webb Hubbell. Hillary Clinton. You see, that's against the law in Arkansas. You can't investigate yourself when the good faith and credit of the state of Arkansas is involved in a bond issue. He broke the law.
Ironically, Webb Hubbell, a senior partner of the Rhodes Law Firm, was chairman of the Conflicts of Interest Committee at Rhodes, ultimately costing the American taxpayer more than $60 million.
When this is all over, it's going to be the same story we've been telling for 2 years. We made a bad investment, we lost money, and there's really not much more to add to it.
Those cones were actually being used to smuggle dope back into the country. And what is scary, what's so scary, it's the same cast of characters. Webb Hubbell, the Rhodes Law Firm, are guilty, I say to you, of conspiring to defraud the state of Arkansas.
Malek's obvious lack of medical knowledge reached a pinnacle when he ruled that James Milam, who had been decapitated, had died of natural causes. Yet Clinton, who had the power to remove Malek from office, insisted he stay. Ultimately, it was proven that Don Henry had been stabbed in the back and Kevin Ives' skull had been crushed. prior to the placement of their bodies on the railroad tracks. However, Malik stood by his ruling that the boys had simply fallen asleep on the tracks. Malik had been kept in office at the insistence of Governor Clinton for a number of years, despite vigorous public outcry to have him removed. A number of people approached the police with information about Don and Kevin's murders and were murdered themselves.
Shortly before Keith McCaskill was murdered, he knew that he was fixing to be murdered. He told his family goodbye, told his friends goodbye.
But I do think that English does remain an important part of the American experience. So I encourage people to become bilingual, but I also want to see English remain the common unifying language of our country.
Clinton now says she did not know about the foreign sweatshops of children or how the Made in the USA campaign was being run.
Today, Mr. President, we are asked whether to give the President of the United States authority to use force in Iraq should diplomatic efforts fail to dismantle Saddam Hussein's chemical and biological weapons and his nuclear program. In the 4 years since the inspectors left, intelligence reports show that Saddam Hussein has worked to rebuild his chemical and biological weapons stock, his missile delivery capability, and his nuclear program. He has also given aid, comfort, and sanctuary to terrorists, including Al-Qaeda members.
Do you, the New York Senator Hillary Clinton, support the New York governor's plan to give illegal immigrants a driver's license? Do you support his plan?
It makes a lot of sense.
No. You said yes. No. You thought it made sense to do it.
No, I didn't, Chris.
I introduced her. I want to end with her favorite quote because I love this quote. It's from Mahatma Gandhi. He ran a gas station down in St. Louis for a couple of years. Mr. Gandhi, you can still go to the gas station? A lot of wisdom comes out of that gas station.
You know, one is guacamole and one is chips. Can't snap your fingers and get people to cooperate.
She said she had no idea her old man was running around on her. I remember thinking, really? I'm pretty sure you're not smart enough to be my president, because that is a massive Macy's balloon-sized tea leaf that you failed to read there, honey.
So shame on you. I have so many opportunities in this country. I just don't want to see us fall backwards.
Who's right?
Well, can I just point out that in the last several debates, I seem to get the first question all the time. And I don't mind. I'll be happy to field them, but I do find it curious. And if anybody saw Saturday Night Live, maybe we should ask Barack if he's comfortable and needs another pillow. Because what wasn't in what you read to me, that somebody obviously sent to you, lifting whole passages from someone else's speeches is not change you can believe in, it's change you can Xerox.
The hits that I took in this election, nothing compared to the hits that the people of this state and this country are taking every day of their lives.
The hits I've taken in life are nothing compared to what goes on every single day in the lives of people across our country.
So, this is for you. Fired up! Ready to go!
Ready to go!
And we are fired up and we are ready to go.
You on here
Lisa, you probably could use some water there.
You know, I think it is clear that what we need is somebody who can deliver change. And we don't need to be raising the false hopes of our country about what can be delivered. The best way to know what change I will produce is to look at the changes that I've already made.